All right, welcome to Gen X Rated Thursday edition. How we doing, Billy?
Good, good. I hear the music and I know it's almost time for me to let loose some of my outrage. So,
Nice. It's a
yeah,
real trigger song, I guess. I like it.
in a good way.
Yeah, of course. Well, we all have to vent. It's kind of important.
And it gets, it gets tiring holding it all down, crushing it into a small ball to release on a Thursday.
It's true, and it is a lot. But I'm confused on the days because every day is a rage day.
Yeah, well, every day ending in Y anyway.
Pretty much. So we're trying our best here to keep it in perspective, but the perspective keeps changing,
hmm
and we just keep seeing crazier and crazier shit.
Fucking insane.
Speaking of insanity, Trump's going to be out with the National Guard tonight on the streets,
Whoa, on patrol, cops starring Donald Trump.
finally getting
Whoa.
his cosplay. I can't wait to see what the jacket's going to look like. Something cool, I bet.
I bet it's going to be a cool one.
You see him in that flight jacket? I've only seen it once, but wow. Hot guy.
He's a hot guy. He looked like a real Top Gun.
He's a Top Gunner. Well, whatever he's, turned the corner on, KK Caroline's back and fully supporting it. So,
Oh, of course she is. She is fucking the spawn of Satan. She's truly a horrible person.
yeah, well, she's in the right regime. They're all pretty terrible people.
Has South Park mocked her yet?
I don't know, but they had a pretty good episode last night with playing off the bill going through Washington, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Checking out all the sites. He went to the Lincoln Memorial, and there was Trump's head on it, and of course a tiny penis. And then they, anything around town that Trump could turn into himself, but everything had a tiny penis. So that was pretty awesome.
That's Trump.
I mean, I can't believe that's where I have to get my factual information. It's from South Park.
I know, right?
It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It is.
but here we are, and I'm loving it. I think it's great, and it's comedy, but it's true to life. So we're not getting that on ABC, NBC, or CBS. I can assure you that.
No, we're not. But it's nice to see that they're not afraid to I don't want to say bite the hand that feeds them, but maybe, poke them in the eye a bit
Sure.
after that, big fucking merger went through. They got paid, and you know what? That's why they call it fuck you money.
That's right. Well, and we could all use some of that, but prices keep going up, and that's not necessarily happening for us. We did talk about before we started this some of the CEO pay. I mean, nobody's getting paid except for the guys at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And just a few statistics on that. CEO worker to worker pay gap has surged to $632 for every dollar you make. And that's the, Starbucks, I think, is at the top, their CEO. And we've talked about this before, $96 million a year, where the median worker makes about $15,000 a year. You're not living off that anyway.
No.
Coca-Cola CEO, $28 million. The average worker there makes about, or the median worker makes about $14,000. Again, that's not the cost of living.
No.
Chipotle, $19 million for the CEO, and if you work there, you make about $17,000. So it's just so out of whack. And then you go to the top. I mean, they came out with a story today that Trump has bought $100 million worth of bonds in certain companies that all his policies tend to affect, right? So he bought in Meta, he bought in Home Depot, T-Mobile, and this was just in February. So this isn't necessarily current. So he's been grifting this whole time. And then his policies, and now it's through a third party. He's the first president that hasn't gotten out of their financials, or at least let other people do it in a blind trust. His blind trust is run by his two blind mice of sons.
Uday and Kusei.
Yeah, and they still pay attention. But the family has, in the last 8 months, made $3.4 billion. So they're doing very well. For what that's worth. It doesn't make me happy, but apparently somebody's happy about it.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm sure the MAGAs are so happy now that they're getting all that money, and I'm sure they get their MAGA paycheck every month. I'm sure that comes right to their mailbox, and sure Trump's sharing the wealth with his many fans.
Well, they're promissory notes, right? They're going to pay you. So we'll see how that works out.
That's the new definition of "fuck you" money.
Exactly. There are federal ethics laws. They don't require you to divest your assets, but most people do avoid the conflict, and they will put it into like a blind trust. That's been going on since the 1970s, and only Trump since 1978 has been one to not do that. And I think part of that is that they don't want to, he hasn't reported his taxes. That used to be a thing too, where you could see the tax return of somebody running for president, but that's kind of woke, I guess.
No, that's too woke.
Super woke. Best example, though, of this inequality is Elon Musk. We've talked in the past. He spent about $290 million to rig this election, which is moving forward, I might add. Trickling out slowly are the numbers that make no sense in this vote that we just came through in November. So keep paying attention, because that is not going away, much like Epstein and these victims' issues with the people that assaulted them, not going away. I know they're trying to distract. Trump's doing anything, even hitting the streets of DC to distract, but it's not going to work. Back to my point on Musk, he spent $290 million, but after that, since the election, he's made $100 billion. That does include, some of the SpaceX money that the government's giving him. He's not going to pay federal taxes on it because he doesn't, and he can bust unions at will. So it really trickles down to screwing all of us. But I think people are starting to notice. I really do.
It's hard not to. I mean, how long can you be just so blindly screwed over? I mean, eventually, you know what? Even the the slowest witted people figure it out.
Yeah. And that's usually with a kick in the back. A couple other things. Del Monte Foods. I don't know how many people recall Del Monte Foods. They've only been around for 139 years. They're filing for bankruptcy. John Deere's laying people off. They're not able to sell tractors with these tariff prices. It's been a real issue. Yeah. Plus, why bother? You had 294 farms in Nebraska filed for bankruptcy anyway. So,
well, yeah. I mean, they're fucking everybody over left and right. I saw there was a Dollar General Express not far from me, and it appears that has closed.
Really? Wow. That's surprising.
Is it? I mean, they've been known for selling, cheaply priced goods, and I'm sure it's all from China. So I'm sure the tariffs are affecting them too, because I don't know if this is true, but I had read that they were, one of the fastest growing companies not that long ago.
You're right. Within the last 2 years.
So I'd be curious to see what the deal is there. I mean, because if you base your whole business model on selling cheap goods, and those cheap goods aren't cheap anymore, you're probably going to have a problem. But that's probably a big flashing red light.
Just to circle back to the farmers, Trump does want to give them taxpayer money as a little payoff, hundreds of billions of dollars to go to them, which seems unjust.
Yeah, why should we pay for that? Your policies put them in this spot, first of all. And, I guess, I don't know if you're trying to reward their loyalty because these dopes voted for you, but...
Would they do it again?
I don't know. And are the checks going to be big enough so they can keep their family farm or buy it back? And what's the definition of a farm? I remember reading not too long ago that, there were people that claimed to have farms that were getting federal money off the farm bill. And this was maybe a few years ago, that they mapped it out. They were located in Manhattan. So basically, what are you
growing over there? Some basil, some rosemary. Is that enough?
Yeah, we're growing shit. Just had some land. You call it a farm. I mean, so, it's another grift.
That's big in Missouri, too. If you recall, when we moved here, they were like, I'm going out to the farmhouse. And it was just a piece of land that some people put a trailer on. Some people didn't put anything on it. They just shot guns.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if they're getting their checks, too. I don't know. I mean, but
it's a little bit crazy.
It's just fucked up. And it's like, when you have a certain amount of money, people like Trump just want to give you more.
I guess I don't have that certain amount because I'm not getting net checks.
I don't think very many of us do.
They're panicking a little bit about electricity because we've talked about it for several weeks now. My ginormous payment just went through with auto pay. And then I got an email saying, hey, you've spent this much. Halfway through the month, I got an email saying, hey, you've spent this much already on electricity. So I think they're prepping me because they don't want me to have the sticker shock after the 30-day period of how much energy I'm using. I mean, I'm like, this is all new territory. I've never received an email telling me halfway through the month what my expenses are on electricity. It's crazy.
Oh, not even in those fucking insane days of Enron back in California.
You're right.
Jesus. Absolutely. Yeah, this is insane.
And to that point, the story came out that BlackRock and Blackstone are now purchasing American electric utility companies. Never a good sign. We saw this in the housing market when the hedge funds came in and bought up single family homes. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait to see how that's going to work out.
My guess would be not well.
It's going to bring energy costs up. And I thought the interesting correlation was that Florida is the second most financially distressed state, yet their governor, loves everything that's happening. And can you guess the number one financially distressed state?
I'm going to guess. I think I probably guessed Arkansas.
Yes, it's not Arkansas. It's Texas. So you got these two giant states with red hats, especially in the governor's mansion, and their people are the most financially distressed in the nation. How do you sell that? I mean, I'm not a salesman per se, but like, how do you keep going back to that trough when you're getting kicked in the back?
Yeah, I don't know, man. At what point do people wake up and stop cheering for this and stop, having little stupid Trump boat parades? And
I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
Well, they said that in Texas anyway, most people are really upset about how they went about passing their new redistricting, the gerrymandering that they made the woman stay in her office for 24 hours and then locked everybody in to get a quorum so that they could push through and get 5 more seats in the House. People didn't like that. And the Texans were saying, hey, we support Black, Brown, and other, and we're not putting up with this. So you may have added districts that you think are going to be Republican, but I think the surprise might be that people are not going to back these policies.
I hope so. I hope it blows up in their fucking face. And, Newsom's not backing down. I saw that went through in California.
It did.
So, and, and again, there's a lot of it maybe I don't quite understand, but, I'm really tired of seeing these headlines from the national media. Oh, well, what is this going to do? What's Newsom going to do? This is just going to, excuse me, he's just fighting back.
Yes.
Which the Democrats need to do. So why should one side have to bend over and take it while the other side, keeps doing it? So you know what? Fuck that.
And to your point, the national media does come out and they're like, oh, Newsom's doing this and redistricting. And it's like, you're doing it in Texas. The president literally went to Indiana to start the process there. Like, why is it okay for one side to do it, but not the other? And when you look at these districts, how they're what's Trump called, his weave or whatever.
Oh, the weave, yeah.
It's ridiculous. You're literally trying to pinch out Crockett in Texas. You're taking away representation for African Americans. It's too much.
Well, it's very Jim Crow. I mean, basically, you're stealing their votes. You're taking away their votes. You have the right to vote, but your vote doesn't count. And that's unconstitutional. It's un-American. It's just disgusting. And the fact that they do it because they know in fair elections, they don't win.
Yeah.
They know how unpopular their policies are. And this is the only way they can win.
His point was, so if there's a war, there's no election. If we start some kind of war. So now we have 8 warships and 4,000 troops outside of Venezuela. I mean, come on, guys.
I mean, you're screwing over people in the National Guard. I mean, these are people with jobs and lives. You've hauled them away now for this made up, problem in DC. And so now you're going to put, you're going to scramble a bunch of Navy ships and who knows what else you're going to do with active forces. Like,
well, what else would they be doing
with people's lives?
Well, that's true. But what else would they be doing, these guys? Come on.
I don't know. It's just, it's outrageous.
It is. It's all about the cosplay, though, and that's what we love. Okay,
Well, it's all about Trump getting wealthier, increasing his power, stroking his fragile little ego because he does have a tiny mushroom penis, and basically staying out of jail.
That was the whole goal, was to stay out of jail for sure. Yeah, but instead of actually doing something for people that are suffering through these policies, we have this woman, Homeland Security, out at the wall. Look at that. Look at her. What? I mean,
Jesus, tell me that you skip leg day without saying you skip leg day. Hey, chicken legs.
she is adorable. Yeah. Aside from leg day, she's painting the wall. So on the border, they decided they're going to spend $2.4 billion and paint the whole wall black. Can you guess why they're painting it black? And it's not a Rolling Stone reference.
I don't know.
They think it makes it really hot. There's two problems with this. First of all, people might try and get over the wall at night. Now you've made it black. All I have to do is put on some black clothing. You're not even going to see me. But more importantly, she's painting on the American side.
Oh man, who got a kickback off that painting contract?
Trump. Trump, I'm sure.
Unfucking believable. Did you say is that 2.2 million or billion?
I thought it was billion is what they said because they were comparing it to Medicaid. I'd have to double check. It's a lot of cash for painting.
Shit.
And again, she got to put on that. She's got her boots on. She's got her boot cut pants on. She looks great, but I don't want to spend for that. And I don't think it's very effective. We're going to try and save money in another area, which would be Tulsi Gabbard is slashing the NIA staff by 50%. People suggested maybe outsourcing to the Russians. They'll surely tell us what they want us to know, which is what we're doing anyway.
I saw Trump dismissed one of the top Russian experts from the what was it? Which agency was it? I can't recall, but it was one of the top Russian experts, and Trump dismissed them.
Yeah, I thought it was the CIA.
Maybe it could have been.
But yeah, we kind of disregard that, and I'm sure you saw that Trump's now going to step back from the peace process with Ukraine and Russia. Not really that interested right now. We're just going to step back from negotiations. As he's doing this, Putin launched 574 drones and 40 missiles. They did end up blowing up a U.S. factory that's in Ukraine, but it's not really our problem, right?
Well, and Trump's other pal, Netanyahu, has started his invasion of Gaza.
Oh, my God. I did see statistics today. They said about 83% of the population had been killed.
Yeah, and those are women and children. They're not terrorists. They're not Hamas fighters. They're fucking people.
And to your point, Wesley Bell, which I did not know, my representative had a town hall meeting. It got pretty loud. People were not really happy with his defending of Israel. He pushed back, saying that genocide's too strong of a word. He feels that when you're dealing with a terrorist organization like Hamas, that you can't be restricting, killing of innocents, I guess. See how they weigh, but I do know that he beat Cori Bush with a ton of money from AIPAC. So he's in the pocket. His constituents didn't love it. There was some issues at the end because they were voicing their opinion, which they're allowed to their representative who's not listening to who he's representing. And then the police came in. First, it started with security. I saw a 260-pound man take down a 100-pound woman, pushing her and her son down. Then the cops came in. Metro Police were on top of them. We even had the sergeant there in his white shirt. The people were not throwing things. They weren't fighting back. They were just voicing. And then they were pushed out, pushed down, and roughed up to leave. That's not American at all.
No, it's not. Wesley Bell is he's nothing but a tool. He's a fucking puppet for AIPAC. He's a disgrace. He's a joke. He was terrible when he was here in local government.
Yeah.
He was awful. He was a sellout then, and he's an even bigger sellout now. And to claim that these people are all terrorists is that's a lie.
Yeah.
You know, the Palestinians, the people that lived there, did not want Hamas. That was basically a hostile takeover of their government. These are just innocent people trying to live their lives. And 83% of them have been wiped out. It's disgusting.
Those
And
numbers
the fact that it's being done by, you know, relatives of people that survived the Holocaust, that, you know, were actually victims of a genocide, and now they're just turning around and perpetrating it. And you've got an African American man in full support of it. It just it boggles my mind how Whitey gets people to do their bidding.
It's pretty crazy. But there is a blueprint to that. You know, you whitewash everything. We're seeing that in our own country. We're going to go into the national parks and change what the rangers are allowed to talk about. We're going to go into the Smithsonian, and we're going to change what the historic occurrences are of our country. That a lot of people learn from those experiences and try and be better. But let's
pretend. Wesley Bell. I'd love to hear Wesley Bell's thoughts on slavery. Well, it was a good thing. My ancestors, you know, really loved it. They learned to really love white people, and that's how I got where I am. I mean, what a fucking tool.
It is pretty crazy. Yeah. So, and nothing, you know, there's no words that are going to make that okay. It has to stop. I don't know how it's going to stop. And as long as we support them, because we always support Israel's foreign policy, even when it's at our detriment.
Which it often is.
What's that?
Which it often is.
Yeah. Oh, there's no positive for any of that for us at all. In fact, we've been fortunate that the Iran thing hasn't gone, because that's also on the Netanyahu list. Another country that we had deals with that Trump took off and then didn't like the deals, and then you know the rest of the story. But that would be another place to not mess with, just because Israel wants you to.
Oh yeah. Well, and again, Israel's run by another greedy oligarch who is basically trying to stay out of jail.
Yeah. And when he was going to have to go to court, they just got rid of the judge.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's pretty crazy. And we just use the amendments in the parts of the Constitution that are good for us. I see Trump's going to direct the Department of Justice to make it a criminal charge for flag burning, even though it is protected under free speech. Now he's going to look at ways to maybe amend the Constitution. He wants jail time, at least a year.
Get the fuck out of here.
I know. It's just completely backwards. At the same time, you know, you have the Department of Justice subpoenaing, medical facilities for records on transgender people, 20 different doctors and clinics, targeting just retaliation for these kids that are having issues. But there's no gray area with these people. It's bad. This is bad.
It's bad because I don't like it, or I don't understand it, or I feel threatened by it. And, you know, so we're going to focus all of our efforts on going after things that don't really matter, that are nobody's business, instead of focusing on things like, you know, I don't know, climate change, wealth inequality, the fact that we've got a growing police state. We're not going to worry about any of that. But, those trans kids.
I know. Look over here. A little distraction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and eventually, you know what? Eventually, how long is that going to work? How long is it until that outrage is just worn off? Like, even the average Fox viewer has to finally figure it out. Wait a minute, I don't know any trans people. This doesn't really matter to me. I'm not outraged by it anymore. It's like, you know, you get a bad tooth and you keep sticking your tongue on it until it hurts, and all of a sudden, it doesn't hurt anymore because the nerves died. So I don't know. Yeah, you know, then you got a gray tooth that eventually just falls out.
Then you got a real Marie. Thanks, Gene.
Yeah. Classic.
You know, the courts are going to have to continue to stay strong. We have seen some good pushback in a lot of instances, even with Trump-appointed judges. I did see that Elena her appointment as special attorney for the District of New Jersey was unlawful, as we talked about in the past. They fired the person that the 3-person committee wanted to stay on, as they kicked her out the door, but she had so many photos of herself on the walls that she wouldn't leave. Trump made sure that she could stay, but any of her actions from July 1st on, will probably be ixnayed because she really wasn't performing her duties. Again, it's like cosplay. Oh, I'm this great lawyer. She was a terrible lawyer for Trump, and they just keep moving you around. I mean, same with Weinbach's judge. I mean, she's just not good. Yet she was decorating on the White House yesterday. They were decorating outside the White House. She was giving some great advice. It's crazy what they're doing over there at the White House. It's just like he's making it his home, and it's just been really terrible.
It's looking like a guy that doesn't plan on leaving, at least not feet, at least not under his own power. Maybe feet first, God willing, but yeah, it doesn't look like he's planning on going anywhere.
That's the most scary part, I feel. I just I want to find the photo if I have it, because they were really doing some great stuff redecorating. I mean, I don't know. All these people have time. Sean Duffy today was doing the Pete Bobby Kennedy Jr. Challenge on Fox today. Like we have planes that are like having parts of the wing come off during flight, and you're doing the challenge. And I will say this: he was doing it extremely poorly. He needed help. They were holding his legs, like pushing him up. I mean,
yeah, that does not count as a pull-up.
It is not a pull-up, and you look kind of foolish.
Your push-ups are probably even worse.
Yeah, they didn't show that, and I just found it like. I'm going to put this up real quick because this is the wall there's the judge and there's Trump, and they had some other people on looking. I love the comments. I love this picture of two of my favorite people. But the brown things on the wall, when they took them off, they're putting up gold photos, gold everything, and it's just kind of creepy. And again, she has a day job, and it's not designed.
None of these people really do their day job. These are not serious people, as we always say.
Yeah.
I think Kash Patel was doing his day job.
No, he may be gone next. Apparently, Andrew Bailey, who they just made co-assistant deputy, along with Bongino, who's not coming to work anymore. He may get the top spot because he's a real menace. The people of Missouri know that better than anybody.
Yeah, he was the attorney general for this state. He is a fucking menace. That guy is a nightmare.
Bad dude. So to have him as the head of the FBI, you almost are wishing for Kash Patel. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
And then you get this face. This guy's costing us a ton of cash, and I don't know if people are aware of it.
That's just his bar tab.
Yeah, he is. I think his security detail is about between 400 and 500 personnel, which are 400 and 500 people not doing what they should be doing, which is maybe protecting this country. I don't really know what they do, but I don't think they have to be watching all his ex-wives, which is part of what they're doing. They're looking at his ex-wives, his kids. Multiple properties in D.C., Minnesota, Tennessee, and it's like, why? Why are we doing it? Why are we footing this? I mean, she looks like she can, fend for herself. Her arm looks pretty big. She's got a pretty big forearm. And what are we doing here? Why are we paying for this? Why does he need so much security? Who the heck is he? Give me a break.
Seriously, just an incompetent boob, another Trump DEI hire.
Pretty much, yeah. I think you nailed that one on the head. It's just all this money that's flowing out for our dear leadership, but none of it's really getting down to the people that actually kind of need it. And
no, it's not. In fact, it's going away from the people that really need it. I mean, you're seeing huge cuts in the social safety net, and it's going to get even worse for healthcare.
Yeah, healthcare is
expensive. It's going to cover less. I mean, it's unconscionable. Why would you do that? I mean, this is a country that, again, we've somehow been brainwashed into deserving that into believing that we don't deserve, universal health care, that it's a bad thing. It's communistic. Get the fuck out of here. Just imagine, man, how much happier would you be if you didn't have to pay that monthly premium, if you had maybe low copays or no copays?
Yeah.
Money would that free up? How much more peace of mind would you have knowing that if you got sick, if you had an accident, if your kids got sick, that you'd be covered? It's just, and yet you've got people that are fighting against their own best interests. Oh, that sounds like socialized medicine. Yeah, it is. And
Yeah.
you know who's happy? People that have socialized medicine, people that live under a socialist government. And you know, people in Canada and the UK may complain about the National Institute of Health, but
I hear
by
that too
the same
much.
token, when they need care, it doesn't bankrupt them.
I hear that mainly from people here. None of the
Yeah,
Canadians that I talk to have an issue with that. And I always tell the story about Eddie who chipped a tooth on a Sunday in France on a fork, and she was seen. So
yeah,
say what you want. I think it's just short sighted. They don't see it in the long game that, hey, when I don't go to the doctor, I don't get treated, and then I end up in the ER and I'm dying, and it's super expensive to keep me alive, even though I'm going to die anyway.
hmm
The preventative care, you go in, you get checked up, checked on, and it really cuts costs. But I just don't think that we're programmed to think about that anymore.
no,
And
we've been brainwashed. And you know, it's been that way since you know, the FDR administration in the 30s, because you know that's when they tried to launch universal health care. And the AMA, the American Medical Association, was dead set against it, and they kept calling it communistic, and people bought into it. And they still continue to buy into it. And until people can unwash the brainwashing and actually wake up, and maybe they will when they find out that their insurance has gone up, you know, another 60%,
75%.
you know, and that's just to have it. That's not what it costs. That's not even reflecting how much more you're going to pay for things that may or may not be covered, but that's just to have it, to carry that card every month.
Well, and look at that card, because if you had one last year and you look at what the copay is this year on your new card for ER visits, for doc visits, it went up. Mine it went up at least $100 for the ER alone. And you're not
Yeah.
talking about, oh, so now it's $150. No, it's more like $700 if you want to stop into the ER. And that's why these urgent cares have been so great for people to get into, because the ER is just crazy, crazy expensive.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
For sure. To that point on the healthcare, there were 750 healthcare workers that say misinformation fuels violence and is endangering lives. And I know we all remember the person that took shots at the CDC. That story went away pretty quickly, but it was the guy that thought that the COVID vaccination messed him up. So he, all in all, they found about 180 rounds in that area where he shot up that building. The people at the CDC were pretty pissed. You have current and former employees of the U.S. health agencies released this letter about RFK Jr., that he's eroding public trust. And he basically, they find that he's part of a cesspool of corruption, was the wording. I can't say that that isn't. As things just go, you know, I mean, he hates vaccination. And the example being that there's a new vaccine that could help with brain cancer, which all of us know that that's been extremely prevalent in the last 10 years. I think everybody knows somebody that's ended up with brain cancer. It's not a pretty picture and you go pretty quickly, but it's a vaccine. So there, all the comments when this breakthrough came out was, oh, it's a vaccine, you know, we're not into that.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you know, if you're not into it, don't get it. But don't, you know, don't fight the development of it for the greater good. You don't want it, you don't have to get it. You can die of brain cancer. That's hey, that's your right as a real American. But you know, maybe RFK should think about it. Maybe it'll help cure that worm in his brain. You know, maybe
well,
one shot will clear that out.
yeah, it's funny you'd say that too, because to that point, we had a Missouri resident just died from a brain-eating amoeba. We've had a stretch of weather here that was extremely warm, so the waters warm
And
up
humid.
and humid. The waters heat up. The water levels are lower, and then people are enjoying. You know, I think this person was tubing or water skiing at the Ozarks. It's not something that you drink the water, it comes up in your nose, goes right to your brain, and then you get this infection, which is pretty terrible. There was a child in South Carolina that died after visiting Lake Murray. There was a 71-year-old woman in Texas who was just doing a nasal cleansing with her tap water. She also got it. So it's not something that you can spread, but oh my God, seriously? It sounds like something made up. And I would stop there, but I'm not going to, because the plague is back.
It's back, baby.
I mean, maybe it never left and it's always been here, but we did have a case in California. That person's being treated with antibiotics. I don't know if we still believe in that anymore, but hopefully they're going to find some success. It did kill a woman in Colorado that died of the plague. I feel like we're going back in time. I mean, it's just insane that that's even a thing. The Black Plague. Are you kidding me?
I mean, what's next? Polio?
Well, only if you don't get the vaccination.
Well, I don't want that vaccine. I don't want those wires in me.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that. But then when we start talking about the information through our government, like the CDC took down the public database showing red states have higher homicides than blue states. So we don't want to document anything that looks poor on our dear leader. But if you want to know the top 10, and we went through this, I know you're going to be a little bit upset by this, but number one for murder per capita, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, New Mexico took fourth. We thought it was Missouri. Missouri's fifth.
Oh, damn.
Five. But again, New Mexico, Missouri, Arkansas, South Carolina, Maryland, Georgia, and Tennessee. So 8 of the 10 are red states. I don't see the National Guard going into any of these states.
Yeah, no.
So
they're fine. They'll police themselves. They're fine.
And then when you go to look for that information on the CDC website, it's gone. It says page not available.
Yeah. So basically, any news they don't like, they just make it go away.
You didn't like those labor numbers? We can fix that.
We can fix. Look, I've got a chart here. Look, there's a blue line going all the way up.
What does that even mean?
I don't know, but it looks good. Makes me feel more confident.
Well, it was an amazing sign. And I thought the best one was when they did the side-by-side comparison. One was red and one was blue. And red's always bigger because that's the grand old party. So,
oh, man.
The legend didn't say anything. We didn't know what it stood for, but we knew that red was bigger than blue. And that's really what counts.
That's all that counts.
So we can brag about something being bigger than somebody else's.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Uh-huh.
And we'll leave it at that. Check out South Park, though. I thought it was pretty hilarious. And they're just spot on, and they're making a joke out of what it is. And we had an episode months ago about comedians and how they generally lead the charge to some of this ridiculousness. And you told the story of Bill Barr today.
Bill Burr, yeah.
Bill Barr going after, not Barr now.
Going after billionaires, saying, that these people, he's not bashing their right to make money. It's just the way they do it and how they conduct themselves. Like, they want their employees terrified. They want them terrified at work. They want them terrified at home. They want them terrified all night long. I mean, who the fuck rules like that? This is not the Gilded Age, You're not Snidely Whiplash with your fucking top hat and your little curled up mustache and your spats. Who the fuck are you? You wipe your ass the same way any of us do. Put your pants on one leg at a time. You're not fucking special. You take away that fucking bank account, you're just another douchebag.
That's right.
Probably worse than most.
And we're all breathing in the same. And we're all breathing in the same air. It's like, you're just not getting it. You're lying to me about air quality, but you're breathing it too. Like, I don't know why they think they're so invincible. And those 80 flats up on the moon aren't going to be ready for a while.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, they're separating themselves. I saw Mark Zuckerberg recently bought up a whole neighborhood in, where was it? Was it in Palo Alto? I don't know.
Somewhere in California. He's already done it in Hawaii, but go ahead.
Yeah, to build a compound because he needs another compound.
Yeah. What else are you going to do with all that cash?
Yeah, maybe you donate it. Maybe you give it away to try and make, the society as a whole better. But I guess that sounds like communism, and who would want to do that? Like, I deserve this. I earned this money. I invented Facebook, for fuck's sake, which is part of the root of the problem of how we got to where we're at. But,
oh my God,
aside from that, and again, there's a sizable population that believes that, yeah, these people, they do deserve it. And someday I'm going to be a billionaire. So I want to have that. No, you're not going to be a billionaire. Your chances of getting there are not good. And just, I don't care how much money you have or don't have. Just be a decent fucking human being. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I think your key point there is like the separation of the us and them. Like
Oh
they're
yeah, no, they are definitely moving themselves away. I mean, if you go through some of these suburbs and some of these homes you see, they're like, who the fuck is living there? And there's probably like three people living there,
yeah.
you know? But I guess now part of the new status symbol is having a bunch of kids, maybe having a trad wife and, 20 kids.
I'm glad you said that too, because I saw some interesting statistics. Like we are all about our birth rates down, and what a problem it is. And let's take some women that have 6 kids, and we'll give them the Medal of Honor type of thing. I don't care what you do with them once they're out, but we can put them on the census, maybe. Not sure. But they were doing it by decades, married and owning a home by 30 years old. In the 50s, about half the people, by the time they hit 30, they had a home and they had children, or they were married and had a home. In the 60s, 52%. So it was rising. Then you got to the 70s, 48%. I know we had some financial issues then. The 80s, 45%. It's coming down. The 90s were such a good time. Why bother? 43%. By the time we hit the 2000s, it was down to 35%. 2010, it was down to 25%. And now the latest figures in 2025, to be married and own a home by the age of 30, the percentage is 12.
Wow.
12% of people. Housing's not affordable. We talked about this on the last show. It's easier to buy a new home than it is an existing home. We also talked about how the boomers, they're the only people buying and selling. If you're buying a house, you're probably buying from a boomer and you sold to a boomer. It's crazy. It's like keeping it in the family type of thing. And I'm not all about having multiple homes, but I just find like it'd be nice if you could have one of your own, if that's something you desire. But they're taking that away, along with jobs, and then we're just going to fit you into this square where we need you. Today it's electricians, tomorrow it's plumbers, the next day it's carpenters. So, be ready for it.
Be ready for it. And, and if we can automate those jobs too at some point, we will.
I saw the Taekwondo robot. That thing was impressive.
I didn't see that.
Oh my God. I mean, it's so human-like. It was just insane. And some kid was boxing it. It's amazing what they can do, but then it's whose hands are these in is really the issue, right? What are you using that for? Interesting.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe the lifelike sex robots will calm down some of these angry young men.
And then we'll remember that it was Polly from Rocky that made that happen.
Yeah, trendsetter.
Not the hottest robot though.
But did the job.
They're pretty lifelike. It's really kind of creepy and weird. People are actually having relationships with a doll. Who's the basketball player? Who was the basketball player that was part of the Kardashians for a bit?
Oh fuck, I can't think of it.
Not it.
Well, yeah. Wasn't it?
Not Nate though, because that's Big Nate Odom.
Yeah, not Big Nate of the Buffalo Bills, but Lamar Odom.
Lamar Odom, yeah. And he's all in, like he's a big fan, and that's great, and he can afford it, but it's super expensive, and it's just kind of creepy. Like, this is my new girlfriend.
Well, yeah, and I saw an article not too long ago. I think it was in Esquire about a lot of people are having relationships with AI chatbots, and they're very happy. They love it, and hey, more power to you, man. If that's what floats your boat and makes you happy, and keeps you from going out and shooting up the CDC or
running over people that you find attractive because they're not interested in you.
Yeah, or attending a Klan rally. More power to you. It's just, it seems kind of weird to me, but you do you.
Again, if those are the direction we're going in these times and it makes you happy, I'm all about it. But let's let other people have their happiness that aren't having relations with robots.
Live and let live. Mind your own.
That's right. That's what it used to be like. But now we're picking up DoorDash drivers off the street because they're brown.
Yeah.
But I will say I've seen a lot of pushback. I've seen a lot of people requiring to see the arrest warrants. And then they get pretty belligerent with these guys that are showing up on their doorsteps, and these guys can't say anything. And then they get back in their car and they leave. But that's what it's going to take. You just can't be willy-nilly about it. You demand. And the guy had a badge. He's like, badge number. I'm going to need something that's got your full name on it. Is your name on your badge? Is your full name on there? No. I'm going to need to see something.
Yeah.
And then they just say, well, we just want to have a conversation. He's like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, why are you here? What's your purpose? And if they can't answer those questions, they can just go fuck off.
Where's your warrant?
Yeah.
You have a warrant. Let's see the warrant.
Correct. And again, it's cosplay. These guys come out. They make you feel like you're an idiot, but truly, they're the bounty hunters that are out there just trying to make some money.
Yeah. No, dude, you're running around looking like Bazooka Joe, for fuck's sake. And I know I'm showing my age, but we are Gen Xers.
Bazooka
Get
Joe.
the fuck out of here. Bazooka Joe with his fucking camo cosplay, armed to the teeth. I mean, I saw a picture online today of a bunch of National Guardsmen all fucking loaded for bear, like you're getting ready to patrol, downtown Baghdad, and there's tourists strolling the mall.
Yeah.
What you do? Those guys have to be bored out of their gourds. What are you doing all day? Why are you away from your job and your family? And how long? I'm curious about this. How long do you get before your job's like, hey, we need you back here?
Good point. Or, hey, you don't have a job anymore because we're closing up shop. We filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah. I mean, you got to wonder about that. I mean, we know a guy that's in the Guard, and he's been called away several times on bullshit things prior to this, But,
yeah.
You're just fucking, you're victimizing all kinds of people. You're taking people away from their lives, from their kids, their wives, their family, their jobs, for what? So you can look like a tough guy?
Of course. And JD was in DC yesterday with Hegseth and Stephen Miller in DC, and they were talking about how they're saving everybody by coming out, and people just weren't having it. I mean, they wanted to go to Steak Shack, and then they were talking about DC and how terrible it is and crime ridden, and people just didn't want them there. They were yelling at JD about screwing couches. And nobody's pushing back. Like, he didn't have any detail that was going to say anything about it. And I thought that was kind of interesting. Stephen Miller was being harassed by older white Americans who didn't want them in DC. And he called them old hippies and said they were over 90 and needed to go take a nap. I mean, it's this name calling that's not productive. And it really is unfortunate because he is a goofball.
Oh, he's a cretin. I mean,
I think you like to say.
He is. He's a ghoul. Just go home, Dr. Strangelove. Just fucking beat it.
Yeah, please.
You are a Jewish Nazi.
Nobody was really putting up with it, and I just loved hearing people firing back. I mean, that's the second highest figure in our government, and you're commenting about him having relations with a couch. Hegseth, what are you doing? You worn out from the challenge the day before? We saw your pull-ups. They were pathetic.
They were pathetic, and your push-ups were just as bad.
And again, you and Christy maybe should spend more time together on leg day.
Mm-hmm.
And the saddest part in that video was I saw a couple of service members behind him doing the same pull-up. They were doing those crazy leg scramble kicks.
Oh, those kip pull-ups. I mean, come on, what are you doing?
You're bombing, Luke, is what you're doing.
You're bombing. What are you doing? I mean, don't even get me started on that. You're just doing reps for the sake of doing reps, and they're shitty. They're going to get you hurt at some point. I mean, yeah.
They know better. I mean,
I can't even.
He's a lean, mean fighting machine.
He's a fucking buffoon drinking machine.
For sure. I don't, let's see, you were talking a little bit about freedom and doing what you want to do, and about the sex robots. So to speak.
Yeah, don't get that twisted.
Yeah, I was only talking about Taekwondo robots, but whatever. I can appreciate that. But I did see an interesting thing about bikinis. And I'm going to pop this up. This is part of my, I hate to call it a happy ending because it's not like, whoa, bikinis are back and I'm loving it.
So cheeky.
Yeah, very cheeky. But what I find interesting and why it's my happy ending is the fact that Gen Z in particular are less inclined to restrict themselves. They're not hung up. These thong bikinis are coming back on beaches in all sizes. It's not restricted to the supermodel. It's not restricted to anybody that has the perfect figure. They don't care. Some of the things were comfort, overall tan, and they're like, it's just my butt. Like, it has nothing to do with reproductive anything. Like, if you can't handle it, I mean, how many people are going to the gym and doing glute day? I mean, there's a reason for that, and they want it. Why do people go out and do BBLs, the Brazilian butt lift? Because they want it. So, hey, any shape or size, do what you do.
And you're not getting it to cover it up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so yeah, I mean, and again, you know, my first thought is this is a generation that, you know, has grown up with easy access to porn, for better or worse, right? It's a click away. We had to I remember Thursday nights going through the trash on the neighborhood, hoping to find maybe a Playboy in there. You know, so I mean, it's just not a big deal.
For sure. A lot of airbrushing involved in those magazines that you were looking at to make the perfect.
I'm just saying, it's the human body. We've all seen a butt. We've all seen, you know, genitalia. We've all seen breasts. It's just, it is what it is. It's the human body. And I don't know if some of that is part of, you know, this is a nation founded by Puritans, and we're just shocked and outraged by sex. But, you know, murder and graphic violence is, you know, A-okay. It's the American way. But yeah, I'm glad that this generation is fucking just, you know, and again, there's issues with that as far as like, you know, younger people not really knowing what sex is, thinking that porn is sex. But that's a whole nother conversation thing. And I'm not going to go into that, but you know, it's a butt. It's a pair of breasts.
It's a butt. And we're not even talking about the breasts on the bikini. We're talking about the thong.
I'm just saying it's the human body.
That's right. And that's how this generation kind of sees it. They're more expressive. It's the body consciousness. They're like, deal with it. I don't care. And if you can't handle it because you're like, oh, it made me crazy seeing this butt, then you have a problem.
Well, here's the thing. And boomers, pay attention. I remember seeing some of those photos from like Woodstock and the Summer of Love in San Francisco. And yeah, there were a lot of nudity. There was a lot of nudity there. Okay. I remember a picture of Woodstock of a random fat guy naked, just strolling around. So come on. I don't know if you got more prudish as you got older, but you guys were well into it before any of
Or you just pulled up the ladder. You guys had free love and you told us.
And what did we do? Became teenagers. Oh, just say no. And oh, wait a minute, there's a virus out there that can kill you if you have sex. Yeah, thanks a lot, boomer.
Thanks for nothing. And to that point, when the comment you made, it said the women also pushed back saying, you know, men wear these tiny suits that you can see everything. So why can't I show off my butt?
Yeah.
You got a problem with that? Go look at the man next to you in his little banana hammock.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I have zero problem. Embrace your body. It's beautiful, whatever form it takes. And, you know, don't be ashamed.
Absolutely. And this generation isn't, and they don't care. And that was more to my happy ending, was that it's empowering women to do what they want to do. And it's not your business. So get over it. If you can't control yourself, then maybe get some help, because it's not them, it's you.
Get yourself a sex robot, buddy.
That's right. They're a little expensive. Start saving now.
Or maybe just get yourself an AI girlfriend.
I'm sure they'll have some discount ones coming down the pike after
slightly used.
Gently used. All right. We'll move on from that. I do have another happy ending, though. This was endearing to me. Let me put Peanut up here. Peanut's a 7-year-old pit bull. As you can see, he has a toy in his mouth. This was kind of his thing. Any visitor that came in to the shelter, he would present this toy. Super sweet, silly, full of love, they said. And even when he went on walks outside of the facility, he would take his toy with him, because he was really hoping that he would find a permanent home and he would have his toy with him. I thought it was very endearing. So they made a video of Peanut, and he ended up getting adopted. Not very popular for a 7-year-old pit bull in particular, but this dog seems amazing. And it just made me happy that somebody is going to take him in. He can finally take his toy and have a permanent house where he can hang out and fill that house with some joy, because that pup looks extra sweet.
Yeah, he does. That's a really happy ending. I'm glad to see that.
Yeah, let's see old Peanut. I mean, look at those eyes. And
Uh,
people that have issues with pit bulls, it's not about the breed; it's about the trainer,
mhm.
whoever's doing this, breeding them for to be, I don't know, aggressive, whatever you want to say. I'm not even going to go into the world of dog fighting. I'm just saying they're good pups.
Yeah.
I look at ownership. If your dog's an idiot, um, maybe I shouldn't talk too loudly. My dog's kind of a jerk. But I did the best I could, and it's fear aggression on her side. Okay, she had trouble in her early youth. That had nothing to do with me. I'm not. I try and be
Yeah.
the best owner as I can. But my point is, sometimes you roll the dice and you get a dud.
On occasion.
But don't blame the pit bull. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was very cool. I'm glad Peanut has a home, and he is going to make somebody very happy.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
So I'm assuming your happy ending is that the Steelers' last home game or last preseason game is tonight.
Oh, yeah. Dude, let's just get this over with. So, like, apparently they're not going to play I don't think any of the starters because Carolina's not playing any of theirs, and why get a starter injured in a game that, you've got guys that are the tryhards are out. This
Yeah.
is their last chance, and they're going to be looking to make an impression before they're back to doing something else besides football.
Well,
Um,
and we saw that up close and personal.
oh
Uh,
God, yeah. I
Guys
remember.
throwing themselves around late. You're on the pile, and you get a guy that throws himself into the back of your leg, and now you're out, and maybe he's in, or maybe it's on the other team. It's just not necessary.
Unnecessary. I remember Gene getting rolled up in the last preseason game one year in Jacksonville, and I thought his leg was broken. I thought he was out, but he managed to walk it off amazingly enough. But yeah, it just preseason sucks.
It does.
The first game's cool because hey, football's back, and
Because you're so tired of training camp. You're like, oh my God, can we go hit somebody else?
yeah, seriously. But as it just and it's shorter now than it was, but as it used to grind on, man, you just had all these guys you knew weren't going to be around that you had to deal with. It was just too much, man. You had the temporary lockers set up in the locker room, so it was crowded.
Ton of
Um,
laundry.
everybody, more laundry, more people asking for shit, and everybody having to double up on the plane.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a nightmare. And the worst part was under Reeves, sometimes when we go to a preseason game, we'd fly in that morning and play that night. We didn't even stay in the hotel. We camped out in the ballroom. And, the staff, we went to the stadium way early and we, caught a nap there while waiting for the buses and the team to show up. Yeah, that just preseason sucks.
Well, I'm glad it's almost over. The NFL will be starting up soon enough, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this will put a pin in it until the regular season.
We'll put a pin in it. So yeah, we'll see. But
All right. Well,
it's almost football time.
maybe we'll check it out. I know it's on the NFL Network tonight, and the good news is you're not standing on that hard turf where your back's killing you. You can just turn it off. Easy peasy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I remember a game in Carolina, a Sunday night game played in a steady downpour. And the field smelled so bad. And it turned out that it was fertilized with basically sewage, human excrement. And we got back to Atlanta and started unpacking the laundry bins with the jerseys and pants. It smelled so bad. It was just awful. It was nasty.
Yeah.
It was disgusting.
Jeez, that sounds horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on that note,
A stinky ending.
Yeah, stinky ending and a happy stinky ending.
Big stacks. Don't.
I will let you go for today. Maybe we'll catch up later today, but good stuff today. I appreciate you bearing with me on some of the good and the bad of what we're seeing out there. But stay diligent, Billy. It's the tide is starting to turn. I feel. I think
stay woke, my friends.
People are willing to let other people live and let live type of thing, and that's what it's going to take. So
yeah, mind your own business, man. Do your own kind of weird, and let everybody else do their weird. Who cares?
And ignore the cosplay. Do see what Trump's going to be wearing tonight, because I'm sure it's going to be hot.
Oh, he's a hot guy.
Anyway, yeah, enough of him. But we'll catch up later.
All right, sounds good.
All right, nice job today. Oh, live long and prosper. What's happening here? Oh, nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
See you, buddy.